Throughout the 1980s, soul and rock pioneer Rick James was known as the King of Funk, a nickname that he so undoubtedly deserved. But after August 2nd, 1991, when Rick James and his girlfriend, Tanya Hijazi, were arrested in Los Angeles on charges of torturing a young woman, both the media and the music industry gave him a far less regal nickname, the Super Freak. This would be the first time that Rick James was arrested for this type of crime, but it wouldn't be the last. Let's get into it. If you like these videos about your favorite and most scandalous celebrities from yesteryear that make the Ty Said What Ty Said channel a time capsule for the culture, subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can know every time that I upload one of these videos or every time that I live stream. And comment, I subscribed, in the comment section so that I can say hello to you. Now, on to why you are here. If you know two things about Rick James, the first is that he made great music. The second is that he abused drugs. A lot of his fans may recall that his drug abuse started when he was a teenager with marijuana and heroin. His cocaine use began in 1960, and his addiction only increased by the 1980s. His heavy drug use resulted in his spending thousands of dollars a week, major health problems, and kidnapping and assault convictions. Yes, drugs can make people do crazy things, and in 1991, Rick James did something really crazy. In July 1991, when Rick James was 43 and his girlfriend, Tanya Hijazi, was 21, the couple was accused of kidnapping and holding hostage 24-year-old Frances Alley for up to 6 days in Rick James' Hollywood Hills home. Rick James and his girlfriend were using Frances Alley as a sexual slave. They tied her up to a chair, threatened her with a gun, and forced her to perform sexual acts with them. They burned her legs and her abdomen with the hot end of their crack pipe and a heated butcher knife. Rick James was arrested for this crime. He faced a prison sentence of life behind bars if he was convicted of all of the charges that stemmed from tormenting this woman for a week. The charges were kidnapping, false imprisonment, assault with a deadly weapon, aggravated mayhem, torture, and forcible oral copulation. Rick James was facing life in prison if convicted on all of the charges. Usually, when faced with allegations as serious as these, a person would keep his head down and try to straighten up his act, but Rick James was the exact opposite. Only 16 months after the incident with Frances Alley, and while out on bail, in 1993, Rick James and his same girlfriend, Tanya, assaulted yet another woman while they were under the influence of cocaine. She was music executive Mary Sauger. Sauger claims she met the couple for a business meeting at the St. James Club and Hotel in West Hollywood, but was kidnapped and taken into a hotel room where she was physically assaulted for over a 20-hour period. Mary said that she was beaten without provocation into unconsciousness. According to Mary Sauger, after she regained consciousness, Rick James and Tanya Hijazi punched her in the face for hours before they let her leave the hotel room. So, his case went to trial. He was facing life in prison. Everything hung in the balance as far as the outcome of this trial was concerned, so it was all something to be taken very seriously. But Rick James was going to be Rick James no matter what situation was taking place. And one thing that Rick James was a showman. So his 3-week trial was packed with drama for all to see. Among his stunts, at one point while testifying, he cried and asked the judge for a weekend release so that he could marry his partner in crime, Tanya Hijazi. Not surprisingly, the judge denied his request. Rick James was found guilty of the offenses against both women. He was convicted on assault, imprisonment, and drug charges, but he managed to avoid life imprisonment after being cleared of the torture charge. Rick was sentenced to 5 years and 4 months in prison. Tanya Hijazi pleaded guilty to an assault charge. The other charges were dropped, and she served only 15 months. He served only 2 years of his 5-year sentence in Folsom Prison, during which he lost a civil suit to his second victim, Mary Sauger, and he was ordered to pay her $1 million. During his 2-year stint at California's Folsom State Prison, Rick James composed more than 300 songs. At some point during his incarceration, he was quoted as saying, "Prison has been a blessing in disguise. Otherwise, I probably would have been dead by now." Rick James was 48 when he was released from prison in 1996. As a newly free man, he began working as an anti-drug advocate. You might recall that he helped Marvin Gaye's second wife kick her drug habit. That is a little-known fact that I dropped on my video called "Marvin Gaye Tortured His Teen Wife So She Cheated on Him with 2 R&B Stars." If you haven't seen that video before, you can check it out here, and I will leave a link in the description box as well. Upon his release, Rick James also started recording some of the songs that he wrote in prison, and he finally got to marry his co-defendant, Tanya Hijazi, after the birth of their son, Tasman. Because of these horrible crimes that he committed, a proposal for a Rick James neon public art display outside of a public parking garage in Buffalo, New York, was dropped. Organizers planned to erect the homage to the Buffalo-born funk star on Elmwood Avenue near the former Women and Children's Hospital. Rick James' convictions for assaulting and imprisoning these women dissuaded the organizers. But we do have MC Hammer's "You Can't Touch This" to stand as a tribute in honor of Rick James. Do you find that to be a suitable salute to the King of Funk? Let me know in the comments section. Let's get a conversation going. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Ty Said What Ty Said channel. Please leave a thumbs up and comment so that we can get a discussion going. And share this video on all of your social media, especially your Facebook. That really helps me out a lot. And subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can know when my next video is ready for you. And if you don't like what I'm saying but you love it, feel free to hit that applaud button just below your video screen there and send me some
donations.
Yeah, baby. See you on the next video. If you have a business, product, service, YouTube channel, or social media account that you would like to promote on my channel, email me at tiwan@tysaidwhattysaid.com or use the submission form on my website, tysaidwhattysaid.com, to get rates for advertising on my community tab, my live streams, and or my edited videos, just like this one.